Hi, I'm Denise Cooper from Royal Installation. So we're going to do a leak.
Sparkies, let's clear up one of the most common mix-ups in our trade. What's the difference between an electrical installation condition report and an electrical installation certificate? Clients confuse them, students lose marks on them, and even qualified electricians sometimes argue over them. But today we're putting this confusion to bed once and for all. By the end of this episode, you'll not only be exam ready, but also client ready. The purpose. When do you use each? Let's break down purpose. EICR. Think of it as a health check on an existing installation. It tells you if it's safe for continued use. You're not declaring it new or perfect, just reporting the condition. EIC. This is for brand new installations, alterations or additions. It proves that the design, installation and testing meet BS 7671 at the time it was finished. Quick memory trick. EICR equals report, review of what's there. EIC equals certificate, confirmation of new work. What's inside the forms? Next, let's look inside. EICR includes observations with C1, C2, C3, FI. Limitations agreed with client. Overall outcome, satisfactory or unsatisfactory. EIC includes design details like max demand, earthing arrangement, supply type. Signatures, designer, installer, tester. Full test results for every circuit. In short, EICR says, here's what we found. EIC says, here's what we built, and it complies. Legal and regulatory context. Here's where students and Sparkies both need to pay attention. Landlords. By law, they need an EICR every 5 years or change of tenancy. They can't give tenants an EIC if no new work was done. New installations, building regs and Part P require an EIC. For example, if you add a new circuit or rewire, the EIC is proof of compliance. Exams love to ask, what certificate is issued after a consumer unit change? Answer, EIC, not an EICR. Remember, EICR equals compliance check. EIC equals compliance declaration. Real-world confusion examples. Now let's talk about the client confusion you'll face on site. Example 1. A landlord calls saying, I need a certificate for my rental property. What they usually mean is an EICR. Example 2. A homeowner says, you've installed new sockets and can't you just give me a report? Wrong, that's an EIC. Pro tip for Sparkies, always explain in plain English. A report is like an MOT, a certificate is proof of new work, one can't replace the other. This clears up 90% of disputes before they even start. Minor work certificates. Now here's a curveball. There's a third form that often gets forgotten. The Minor Electrical Installation Work Certificate, or MEIWC for short. Think of it as the middle child between an EIC and an EICR. Not as heavy as a full certificate, but definitely more official than a quick scribble in your diary. So when do you use it? For small additions or alterations to existing circuits, nothing too big, nothing structural, but still new work that you're legally certifying. For example, adding a spur from a ring final, replacing a broken socket or a light switch, installing one new light fitting, swapping a ceiling rose for a downlight, upgrading a cooker point. All of these are too minor to warrant a full EIC, but they're still not an inspection report. Remember, If you're adding, altering or modifying a circuit, you're declaring compliance with BS 7671. Here's the mistake I see all the time. Sparkies hand out an EICR for these jobs. That's wrong. The client ends up with paperwork that doesn't match the work done. Worse, if something goes wrong later, your backside isn't covered.
Oh no!
So the triangle looks like this. EICR equals condition check. EIC equals full new or altered installation. MEIWC equals the small tweaks on existing circuits. It's the missing middle, and it keeps your paperwork tidy, your insurance happy, and your exam answers bulletproof. Pro tip: examiners love to sneak this into questions. If the job is adding a spur, the correct answer isn't EIC or EICR, it's minor works certificate. Before we wrap, let's nail down the mistakes that catch people out, in exams and on site. 1. Writing EICR on paperwork after a CU change. Wrong. That's an EIC. 2. Using a minor works form for a new circuit. Wrong again. That's a full EIC. 3. Forgetting limitations on an EICR. If you couldn't test something, it must be written. Examiners love these trick questions, and clients will try to cut corners. But if you keep the paperwork straight, you'll save yourself rework, arguments, and maybe even legal trouble. So there you have it, EICR versus EIC and where minor works fits in. Remember, EICR checks condition, EIC certifies new work. Minor works equals small additions. Keep those three straight, and you'll smash your exams and avoid client mix-ups. Thanks for watching part 6 of the Student Spark series. Drop a comment. What's the strangest paperwork request you've ever had from a client?